July 28, 1943. You do not abandon an ally without consequence. That is a rule as old as warfare itself, one that generals teach, armies enforce, and nations honor in textbooks and treaties. Everyone believed it to be absolute. From the top of Berlin's military headquarters to the trenches in Calabria, the certainty of alliance formed the backbone of strategy. Italy, with its long coastline, its mountains, its cities steeped in history, was supposed to be an unshakable southern anchor for the Axis. You trusted the Italians would hold their ground, because they always had. Because Rome had endured centuries of invasion and conquest, because the symbolism of the Italian line gave your own forces purpose. The belief was unbreakable. Hitler himself believed it, insisting that the Italians were reliable enough to maintain key positions while German divisions concentrated elsewhere. The generals echoed it. Maps were drawn assuming the Italian army would not collapse. Reports crafted under the presumption of loyalty and discipline. Your squad, your men, drilled with precision because the rule of allies holding together was etched into every mission, every patrol, every radio check. Even when cracks appeared, the doctrine was unshaken. Reports of desertion, miscommunication, and low morale were anomalies, isolated incidents to be corrected, not signs of total failure. And yet, in July 1943, everything changes. A wave of events moves faster than belief, faster than orders, faster than logic itself. The Italian king deposes Mussolini. Italian divisions abandon positions without a fight. Roads, bridges, and towns that were meant to impede Allied advance lie open. Units that should resist are disbanding. The Italian front, a line thought immovable, collapses in a matter of hours. You sit in the wolf's lair, imagining Hitler receiving the reports. The room is silent. Officers clutch papers as though the words might rearrange themselves. Intelligence officers whisper, hoping their observations are wrong, but they are not. The news hits like a cannon. The rule you have lived by, that allies do not abandon each other, has been broken.
In this moment, you understand that the war is no longer just about holding territory. It is about confronting the unpredictable. Trust is shattered. Strategies must be rewritten in real time. And one man, Friedrich Müller, a Feldwebel leading his men on the crumbling Italian front, must navigate this chaos, watching as orders fail, allies vanish, and the certainty of the past dissolves before his eyes. This collapse does not merely alter maps, it alters the very psychology of command. Hitler, who believed in unbreakable lines and unshakable loyalty, now faces proof that even his most carefully constructed alliances can fracture. And you, standing in the dirt and rubble of Calabria, feel the full weight of a principle shattered, the belief that some rules of war are immutable. The collapse is complete, and nothing will ever be the same. You are Friedrich Müller, 26 years old, born in Würzburg, Germany, raised on stories of discipline, duty, and sacrifice. Lean but wiry, with eyes that betray both weariness and resolve, you are a Feldwebel in the 1st Panzergrenadier Division, responsible for leading 20 men through some of the most perilous stretches of the Italian campaign. You are defined by meticulous attention to detail, by the ability to read terrain and human behavior alike, by the stubborn conviction that order can be imposed even in chaos. Your men trust you implicitly, though they rarely say it out loud. They follow your commands, watch your every movement, and mirror your courage because they know hesitation in battle is fatal. You carry not only your rifle, but the weight of lives, the expectations of command, and the unspoken hope that discipline and training can stand against the tide of collapse.
The world around you is unraveling. In Sicily, Allied forces advance with brutal precision. Air raids hammer towns, and armored columns cut through roads once deemed impassable. Berlin sends reinforcements, but each division pulled from other fronts weakens the larger network of German defenses. Italy is no longer a buffer, it is a conduit for invasion. The fall of Rome now seems inevitable, and every German soldier stationed along the southern front is aware that your role is not merely defensive, it is desperate containment. The Italian army itself is fractured, demoralized, and poorly coordinated. Units surrender without firing a shot. Officers disappear. Radio communications become confused and contradictory. Mussolini has been arrested, and Italian command structures collapse. Your division is tasked with holding gaps no longer defined by enemy advances, but by the absence of allies. Every hill, every bridge, every crossroads becomes critical, not for offense, but simply to prevent total rout.
The personal stakes are immense. You remember your childhood, the stories of resilience and honor, the expectation that when orders are given, they are carried through. Now that principle is under assault. You face soldiers who hesitate, towns abandoned to the enemy, and the grim knowledge that failure could mean annihilation for your men. In your diary, you write of these days, the smell of dust and gunpowder, the sound of distant artillery echoing off mountains, the tremor of fear in men who are otherwise fearless. Every sunrise brings new reports, roads empty, positions unmanned, Italian allies gone. You know the strategic significance. If the line falls, southern Germany is exposed. If your squad fails, thousands may follow. And yet, amid chaos, you find clarity. You must act, lead, and survive. The Italian front is no longer a line on a map. It is a test of courage, of leadership, of human endurance. And at this moment, Friedrich Müller, Feldwebel, is forced to confront the impossible. July 25, 1943. The morning air is hot, sticky, and thick with tension. Your squad moves along a narrow road flanked by olive groves, smoke curling from distant artillery strikes. The radio crackles with fragmented updates. Italian units abandoning positions, Allied forces advancing, reports of disorder. You clutch your rifle and feel the familiar tension coil in your chest. 1,500 yards to the nearest checkpoint, the first Italian soldiers appear, not advancing, not resisting, but surrendering. Your men stare, confused, as officers wave white flags. 1,200 yards, a convoy of Italian trucks moves aimlessly, abandoned. 900 yards, you hear the staccato of machine guns from your left flank, Allied scouts probing. Every second stretches unbearably. You shout orders, rallying your men to cover the approach. Smoke fills your lungs. The air vibrates with explosions. You count the distance. 800 yards, 700 yards, 600 yards. The enemy is closer than you anticipated. Artillery shells land near the road, shaking your feet against the packed earth. One explodes 50 meters to your right, throwing dirt and shrapnel into your face. You taste metal. You hear the cries of wounded men, both yours and the Italians. You spot a collapsed barricade ahead, 500 yards. Behind it, Allied armor advances cautiously, probing for weakness. Your men fire, dragging wounded comrades into cover. You leap over rocks, shout commands, and feel a small surge of control in the midst of chaos.
400 yards. Mortar shells burst overhead. The sound is deafening, like the sky itself is splitting. 300 yards. Flames lick the hedgerows, and smoke obscures vision. 200 yards. Your squad hesitates. Panic ripples through your men. You feel the weight of every decision. One wrong move and the enemy could break your line entirely. You count. 100 yards. 90. 80. 70. Bullets tear through the air. Your squad moves as one, dragging yourself and the wounded forward. 50 yards. 40. 30. The barricade looms. 20. 15. 10. 5. You crash through the rubble and your men follow. The line holds just barely. Hearts pound, arms ache. Every man alive is a testament to courage under impossible conditions. You radio back to Berlin. The Italians have vanished. We hold, but the front is gone. Enemy moves unchecked. Silence follows. You write in your diary. Every rule of war is broken. We fight shadows. The day stretches endlessly. Enemy forces test your position repeatedly, probing for weakness. You respond with careful precision. Machine gun nests, coordinated small unit attacks, artillery fire from concealed positions. 1,000 yards away, Allied armor attempts a flanking maneuver. You anticipate the movement and position your squad to intercept. 800, 600, 400 yards. Artillery and small arms fire converge on your location. You feel the vibration through your boots. Hours pass. Every advance, every pause, every breath is measured. You lead your men from cover to cover, always aware that a single misstep could undo everything. You write again. Fear is present, but action must dominate. Hesitation is death. Night falls. The front is tenuously held. Losses are tallied, 12 dead, 27 wounded, 3 missing. The Italians are gone. Your unit remains the last organized line of resistance on this sector. You collapse into a small trench, exhausted, shaking, alive. Hitler receives the news and reacts with disbelief. His intelligence officers confirm the Italian front has evaporated. German units are forced to stretch thin, filling gaps where Allies once stood. Southern Germany is exposed. Supply lines are threatened. The Allies now gain momentum, establishing beachheads, bridges, and staging areas for further operations. The impact is immediate. German command orders the repositioning of panzer divisions. Coastal towns must be fortified. Air reconnaissance increases. The collapse forces a strategic realignment. Units once earmarked for offense are pulled into desperate defense. Allied commanders note the change. Italian cooperation is gone. German resources are thin, and the southern flank opens opportunities previously impossible. What they do not know is that small actions by frontline soldiers, Friedrich Müller's squad, for example, delayed total collapse for hours, allowing German reinforcements to stabilize key positions. The ripple effect touches every subsequent battle. Supply routes shift. Timelines for major offensives are altered. The fall of Rome becomes imminent, but the delay buys precious time. Hitler's generals recalibrate their strategy in panic. The collapse demonstrates that no front is guaranteed, no alliance unbreakable. Friedrich Müller survives. He returns to Würzburg, carrying scars of fire, metal, and memory. Many of his men do not. His diary becomes a historical artifact, documenting chaos, bravery, and human endurance. He recounts battles, explosions, surrenders,
and the terror of holding a line where allies have vanished. The story matters because it highlights human courage amid systemic collapse. It honors those in foxholes, facing impossible odds, making decisions under fire, and preserving lives through valor. If this story moved you, please like the video. It tells the algorithm this history matters. Subscribe if you want to help rescue these forgotten stories. Comment where you're watching from, and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Friedrich Müller and the men of the 1st Panzergrenadier Division are not forgotten.